daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Newcastle. My name's Iain Mackay. We are very proud to be part of the GSPN network. I'm here today to discuss our predictions for Newcastle United for the season. We're a little bit late at doing it, and there's still only two of us to do it. I'm joined by my good bud, Michael Grahamslaw. Let's be honest, he's the one most likely to get them right anyway. The girls will just be making stuff up about how cute Sven Botman is or something. So we'll get some serious predictions from Michael and I tonight. It comes in three parts, Michael. I know you have no idea what I'm going to ask you.
No, it's
Some of them are
going
to be obvious. Part one are our predictions for Newcastle United, the team as a whole.
Okay, I should be able to do that.
Part two, we're going to break it down into individual players or individual awards, who we think is going to... Well, you'll get to it. And then I thought it might be quite fun, although we've done our top fours, we've done our Premier League, but I'm going to extend it, I think, in the third part, if we've got time, to put some general Premier League predictions on. Golden Boot, for example. Isaac. Maybe not him.
No.
Right. But without further ado, Newcastle United approaching the season with 2 points out of 9 to start with, but with 120 million pounds of firepower now replacing Will Asula up front. We've got to hope that results are going to improve.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So I make that we're in 4 competitions this year, Michael. And my first question to you is, where are Newcastle going to finish, and what do you think their points total will be?
Oh, okay. The first part I was prepared for. The second part I was not. I think we'll end up in 6th position, which I believe is different to what I said 2 weeks ago. I certainly didn't think Nick Woltemade would come in. I was expecting Johan Wissa to be brought in, so that's not too much difference. But I think having an 85 million euro, not pounds, obviously, striker alongside Johan Wissa, it's absolutely amazing. And I think we've had a tough start. I think it's good that we've played Liverpool and Aston Villa in those. Villa aren't going to be this terrible forever. So I think we'll be able to pick it up. We'll have a good charge at the end of the season and we'll get 6th. And I think we'll have a points total of around 62 points.
What did we end on last year? Can you remember?
If it was 62
5th.
points, I do apologise. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest, but let me quickly look. So Chelsea were in 69. We had 66 points last season, and we finished 5th. 62 would actually have only got us 8th. Oh no, it would have got us 7th, sorry. So maybe 62 isn't enough, but I do think it'll be a lot tighter this year, and I do think there'll be more of a gap between the top 5 and the rest, and then there'll be a bit of a gap between the rest. So 62, I feel is right, although the stats prove me wrong.
Are you still, because you said 6th, so you think there's a gap between the top 5, Manchester United included in the top 5? They were.
They were. And then I watched them play again and remembered Amorim was there.
Right. Well, I'm going to stick with my original prediction for Newcastle's season. I'm encouraged by Liverpool not having any defence. Manchester City managing to lose twice already. That never happens. Chelsea not having a goalkeeper. I think Newcastle will finish 3rd.
Ooh.
With 72 points.
I don't know if that would have got 72 them. Would be enough. 72 would have got us 3rd last season. Right. So who's finishing above us then? Liverpool and Arsenal.
Well, I think Arsenal are going to win it now. I did have Manchester City to win it when we first did the predictions, and then Arsenal have lost at Liverpool as well, of course. So Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Man City, Chelsea,
Oh.
and then a whole bunch of also-rans. I'm really encouraged by how terrible Villa look because I think they're our main rival for fifth place.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we are gonna overachieve, and a lot of these teams that have spent a lot haven't spent it in the right places, and they're going to underachieve. Look at that, 5 minutes on the first question, and I've got 76 others. So this is more interesting one. Champions League. Where are
Okay.
Newcastle going to? First of all, are we going to qualify from the group?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think we will.
What points total will we get from our 8 games?
Oh, I think it'll be somewhere around 12 to 13. I think we'll get 4 wins and a draw for 13, and then we'll lose the others. I did have Bayer Leverkusen down as the banker. They've sacked Eric Ten Hag, so that
So
banker
it's
now
all in
looks
the
like
air again.
yeah, it's a
looks
difficult one again.
looks like a tough away night in Germany now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
it's one of those where I think we'll get 13, but I do think we qualify for the group stage.
Yeah. Well, I had us at 15.
Oh, 5 wins,
In
three
fact,
losses,
it could be no. I had 4 wins and
three
three
draws.
draws, but it could be a lot more. You see, I've got Barcelona down as a draw, and I think we might beat them. I think we're going to have another Paris Saint-Germain in a
Wow,
fortnight.
I hope so. I
I think
really
we're going
do.
to play them when it's their first game, and they'll be a bit relaxed, and they won't really remember how hard all of the matches are. They're quite capable of throwing a duff performance in at Barcelona
They are.
in the qualifying. So they're going to do that at St James's Park. So yeah, I'm going for what did I say? 15 points.
Yeah, 4 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat.
Yeah.
Then.
So where will we end up then?
So
I
I
think
think. Oh, go on. I'll let you go
I was
first.
going to say. I was just going to say. I think we will. We'll probably. Not sure if it gets us into the top 8,
I don't think
but
it will.
no matter. We'll have some lowly team to whack in the playoff. We'll win our quarter final, and then I think we'll get knocked out in the semis.
Yeah. So just as a little thing, if we did get 15, could have finished anywhere between 9th and 13th last year based on goal difference, which means we could have played anyone from Celtic to Manchester City. So it's really difficult that playoff round to see sort of who you could play. I mean, obviously, Sporting Lisbon look decent with Gyökeres, Man City, Juventus are in there. But then, if you think the reward for finishing, I think it was 12th. Bayern were the ones who ended up facing Celtic. Nearly got knocked out actually. But when you think your reward for finishing 12th is Celtic, I mean, it's not going to be for us because they got knocked out. But that's something you take, and I I think we'll finish comfortably mid-table. I think we'll be around 16th, 17th myself. I think we'll go into the playoff round, and realistically, the playoff rounds it's a lottery. You could face anyone from PSG to, as I mentioned there, Stade Brest or Celtic. But I think we get through the playoff round, but then the round of 16, I do think we end up getting knocked out. There, I think we'll very likely come up against like maybe a Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, someone like that. Where on the night over the 2 legs, it's just going to be too much for us.
It'll be Arsenal though. We win home and away.
And if it's Arsenal, yes, we go through. But I'm predicting a good team. It's the Champions League, not that we
Right.
finish second league.
Okay. I think um, I think my happy clapping is tempered a little bit by your realism, and
Sorry, mate.
we'll probably finish in the quarterfinals, which is midway. So
It works for me.
2 cup competitions: FA Cup and Carabao. How are we getting on in those?
Again, I'm probably going to sound like a right Debbie Downer, but I think we'll make the quarterfinals of both. And obviously it depends on the draw, but I think we'll be knocked out in the quarterfinals of both. I think Carabao Cup, I think we'll put to one side. Obviously, we've got Bradford in the next round. No disrespect to Bradford, but that should be a very winnable fixture. And if it's not, fair play to Bradford. But realistically, quarterfinals, you're going to come up against maybe an Everton or someone like that, a team who we should beat if we play our first 11. But it's going to come around the time of the Champions League games, some big Champions League games around that time. And I think we'll put out a weakened squad and end up falling short. And then FA Cup, I haven't got a clue what the timings are in regards to Champions League and stuff, but I know the Champions League was late. If we are still in it around March time, then again, you're going to have to prioritise something. And I think after winning a cup last year, I don't think we prioritise either of the cup competitions this year. Get back into Europe and give a good show of ourselves in the Champions League. I think that's the two aims this year.
Of course, both Carabao and the FA Cup are a route into Europe. Maybe an easier route, depending on where we are after 25 games in the Premier League for the FA Cup.
Not a bad show, yeah.
But we'll just have to see that. I'd like to think we're a fighting cup team, and I really was impressed with the quality of the teams we knocked out to win the Carabao last year. Was fantastic.
I'd agree, yeah.
So I'm going to go for us to make the final of one of these two, and then it's a lottery. I hope we win another final. That'd be wonderful.
Brilliant,
I hope it's the FA Cup because it's a little bit more kudos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see. I think you're underestimating how much stronger our squad is this year as well. We have added 6 better players than we had last year.
True.
If you count the 2 strikers together compared to Isak and Wilson, which is what we're going to do from now on. Anyway, final question. How many times does Eddie Howe win Manager of the Month?
Oh, I like this one. I am going to say... I'm going to be looked at. So, I'm going to say 1. I was going to say 0 because I think he's very underrated by everyone except Newcastle fans. I think we could win 5 games in a month, and the next highest could win 4, and it would still go to the manager who's got the 4. But yeah, I'm going to go 1. I think there's a couple of months in there where we do have very winnable fixtures. I couldn't tell you which months off the top of the head. I just remember thinking we've got some good months in there, maybe February. So I think we'll have some really good months. Eddie Howe will get nominated a couple of times. I think he'll only win it the once. What do you think?
I agree entirely. That's what I had. I wanted to go Naught as well, but I thought he's bound to. He'll get nominated so many times. He'll have to win it once. They'll have to give it to him. Excellent. So that's our predictions for where Newcastle are going in their competitions. Let's hear from Ken.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
We're back. Welcome back to part 2 of our predictions pod, which is predictably been a bit of a nightmare to record, but we're going to sort that out away from the public gaze. I've got some accolades for individual players, which I want you to choose, Michael. Some of them are obvious. Some of them come from my twisted, addled, tired mind. So you might think, "Oh, that's unusual," and then you tell me some real ones at the end, which we'll come to as well. But first, top scorer.
Oh, okay. I was expecting something sick and twisted to begin with. I'm going to go Yohan Wissa. One of the top goal scorers in the league last year. He's in a better team that's going to, provide him more chances to score. And I've got a feeling he'll break 20 plus this year.
I hope you're right. Just so that we can have a little bit of competition, I'll go with old Nick Voltemade. He's going to hit the ground. We tell you, he's the most exciting signing of the transfer window because he's going to end up just being like Dixie Deans. He's going to score 25 plus because we are going to be so free scoring. I think it's amazing. Anyway, possibly a little bit more choice here, but who is going to be the top assister?
Oh, okay. There actually is a lot of players this could be when you look at our squad. I am known for playing it safe with my predictions, so I'm going to keep it that. I am going to go Anthony Gordon, which probably isn't actually as playing it safe as I think, but I think he's one of the only players that I know he was an idiot against Liverpool, but he's given 100% every time I've seen him on the pitch this season, and he's looked dangerous. And I've wanted him on that left wing spot. Well, I've wanted him on the left wing spot the last 3 games. Obviously, he was banned for Leeds, so it wasn't going to happen. But I think in that left wing spot, with the hunger that he's got at the moment, he's going to have such a good season.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick, and I'm not sure why I overlooked him for mine because it's such a good pick.
Who have you gone
But
for?
I'm going to go for, in the hope, because we've got two players who can beat a man and shoot, that Bruno Guimaraes will top the assists because he assists the assists at the moment, and I think he'll be assisting more goals because the ball will go straight through to the two centre forwards.
Yeah.
So, what about player of the season? Hard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The safe bet is Sandro or Bruno in that midfield, but I'm not actually going to go for one of them. I am going to go for someone I'm probably going to regret in a couple of hours. And I'm going to go with Sven Botman because I think
Wow.
this season, I think Newcastle are going to be back to our defensive best. And I think Sven Botman is actually going to stay fit. And we're going to see the Rolls Royce of old. And everyone is going to go, I remember why he was so highly rated that first season because I've liked what I've seen already from him. He hasn't gotten injured in, I think it's 2-3 months now. So as far as I'm concerned, he's on the way to the
He's
top.
back.
He's back. Take us to the moon. He is going to be our player of the season. I love Sven Botman. I think he's a brilliant defender. I liked what I've seen of him at the start of the season. And we've already got 2 clean sheets in 3 games. So, yeah, I'm happy that a defender's going to be player of the season, and I'm going to go Botman.
Good choice. Good choice. I was thinking of Byrne again, but of course, if Botman's player of the season, Byrne's not going to play much.
True. Whoever
And
plays that
what you
role.
say is quite true. Player of the season. Player of the season is going to be Captain Bruno. It's going
Yeah.
to be. He's going to be assisting everything. He's going to score more goals. He'll be ever present again, and he'll lift the Champions League trophy. No, well, I was dreaming that bit.
Imagined.
I'm going for
That was
Bruno.
the dream.
What about a young player of the season? So we've got quite a lot of choice here. I think it's young player of the season, 23 and under. So
Yeah.
you can have Voltemade if you think he's going to be the young player of the season.
Oh, I didn't even think of him. I was thinking it was between the 2 wing backs, Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento. Now you mentioned the big friendly giant, or the other acronym for BFG. Yeah, I am going to stick with Tino Livramento, but just because I've been so impressed with him so far this season, and to be honest, he's one of the only players that seems to improve every single time I see him. I was so overly critical of him, I think, last year at times because you could see there was a brilliant player in there and he just wasn't living up to it. While so far this season, he's been our best player, and I think he's one of the only players that hasn't had a bad game. And that's 3 games in. So, yeah, I think Tino's a great shout for young player of the season, but we've got so much good young attacking talent.
I know. How old's Alanga? Alanga's still a young player.
I think Langer might be 24, 25. So he just doesn't meet the
I,
threshold.
well, I think he's a younger player than that. I
He's
think
23
he was,
still, so he fits.
yeah, so he could go in. I'm not going to pick him, of course. I think we're going to have Lewis Hall playing at left back, showing that Tino isn't the best left back in the team.
Yeah,
Tino's going to have to learn to be just as good over on the right because Lewis Hall is that's his position.
yeah, I
Lewis
agree.
Hall for me.
No, it's a
He would
great
have got
shout.
it last year. He would have got it last year if he hadn't hurt his ankle. Right. Now, you asked the most yellow cards, and I think that's
Mhm.
always going to be Joe Linton, so I'm not going to ask you that.
Oh, I hadn't gone Joe Linton.
Really?
I'd gone
Well,
for the other
okay. Well,
Brazilian.
okay, you can do most yellow cards. I'll go Joe Linton. Who are you going for?
I'm going Bruno Guimaraes. I think
Are you?
the passion. Yeah, I think the passion. I think it's one of those where he just can't keep it in sometimes. And I think you mentioned there ever present. Joe Linton is far from ever present.
Hmm.
So I think it's going to be one of those where Guimaraes just a few sneaky elbows to the back of heads. Joe Linton gets injured trying to kill Alexander Isak in the return leg, the return fixture, should I say? It's I think it's one of those. It's definitely going to be one of the two, isn't it? It's not going to be Jacob Ramsey.
Right. My version of the same question is who's going to get sent off the most? Who gets sent
Oh,
off? I'm going to pick three players to be sent off. Fab Shah, he's always sent off once a season.
okay, yeah,
He did it in the first game last year. Nick Pope, there'll be some aberration which causes him to handle the ball 15 yards outside his box again.
yeah,
And I think I'm going to have to go for Joe Linton. I don't think has he
yeah.
ever been sent off? But he's rough, isn't he? He'll get two
He will
bookings in
have
one
done.
game, no problem. So they're my three
Yeah,
sending off.
that's a interesting one. I definitely think there's. Can I say Anthony Gordon to get sent off again this season? We'll not count the one for Liverpool, but to get sent off later as well, because I think he's one that he'll definitely get one. Um, you've Fabian shares a great shout, to be honest, because yeah, he does. He seems to get quite a few. And then yeah, I think Nick I can't remember who else has had one. You know what? Bruno Guimaraes to pick up his first red card for us this year. Anthony
Oh, that'd be
Gordon to
so
get
bad.
more than one. And then I'm going to play it. I don't know. There'll be a defender. I'm going to say Kieran Trippier to get the other. I think
Right.
pace will probably. I think pace will be an issue potentially. Someone will get him behind, and he'll get a red. So yeah, if we pick for 3 red cards, I'll go for those 3.
Nice. Who's going to miss the most games through injury?
There's a 10
You're only
candidates for
allowed
this.
one.
Yeah, that makes it hard. Because you could have. Yeah, I don't think it'll be Botman. As I've said, I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Joe Willock. I want to go Jamal Lascelles, but Jamal Lascelles can actually play a game without ending up injured. It's between Joe Willock and Jacob Ramsey for me. Whoever gets the injury first will miss the most amount of games. But I am praying with every fibre of my being that Jacob Ramsey doesn't get an injury because he is such a good player. And if you can keep him fit, it's a game changer to that squad.
Hmm. I am going to go for. It's going to contradict. So I was wanting to go for Joe Linton there, but I've got him to get the most bookings, and he
Oh,
can't do both, can he? Because Joe
no.
Linton keeps missing halves of seasons, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's played a
He
full
got
season at
injured in
centre
that
mid.
FA. He got injured in that FA Cup game against Sunderland and never came back until the very end.
Yeah,
Um, but Joe Willock is a sick note, isn't he?
he is
Right,
the
I'll
sick
go Joe
note, yeah.
Linton. I'll go Joe Linton. Um, okay, so who gets sold in January?
See, now I'm going to contradict myself because I was going to. The answer to that really should be Joe Willock. But I am going to go with something a little bit different, and I am going to say Harvey Barnes. Um, Not because I've been really disappointed with him at the start of the season, but I just think that left sided position, if we're only going to play 3 up top, so a left winger, striker, and right winger. Johan Wisser is another one that can play left wing. We'd have about 6 players that can play left wing. I don't think there's much of a need for Harvey Barnes, and it's a shame because I like how direct he is, and I mean, what I've seen a lot of people say, well, the only thing he does is score goals. That's exactly what you want from your winger. But I can see a lot of teams looking at Harvey Barnes for 35 million and going, you know what, in this market, we'll take that for a winger that's going to score goals. So I can see Barnes being sold, but only because the market will be there for him a lot more than there will anyone else.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Now, who am I going to have though to go out to
I'm
get
thinking you're going to
sold?
say Willock.
I'm going to say no. I'm not going to say Joe Willock. He'll be injured, so he won't get sold. Um, is it a safe bet? I think Harrison Ashby will get sold at Christmas.
Yes, Big Harry. Yeah, it's a shame
Harrison
because
Ashby or Alex Murphy, either of those will maybe not sold, but will go out on loan. They'll go. They
yeah,
won't finish the
okay,
season.
nice.
Um, I'm not sure. You told me this. Alex Murphy's not young enough to qualify as a homegrown player for the Champions League, is he?
No, he signed too old.
Yes. So either of them will go at Christmas. So my last one was who the best. Who do you think will prove to be the best signing? Because they'll have that award, won't
Yeah.
they? Depends who the top goal
Uh,
scorer is, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's to be honest, there's actually quite a few players it could be, and I've just thought as well for someone to get sent off, Malik Chow. I think that'll probably be one. You see a lot of defenders struggle when they come to the league, but I think our best signing will be, and I mentioned him for top goal scorer, Johan Wissa. I think Voltemade he'll do well, but I don't think this will be his breakthrough. Yeah, I think this will be the year he settles, and we know Eddie Howe likes to let a player settle. Johan Wissa's the safer bet. He gets us 20 goals this season, gets us into the Champions League, and all of a sudden, well, Champions League once again. Even though I've said we're going to finish sixth, so there's holes in this story everywhere. Noah's Ark is currently
Right.
sinking, but no, he'll get us back into Europe again, and he'll be our best sign for me.
Voltemade, there are trees being pulled up every week when he's playing. He's going to be the best signing because he's going to be the best signing of the transfer window, and expect Liverpool to replace Isak with him in 3 years' time. Um, so, most improved player and most disappointing player. We might be starting to get crossover here on some of the things we've already thought about. Who do you think will end up
Yeah.
being most improved?
Most improved. It's a very good one because there's not a lot of players that actually can improve from last year. Most improved from last year probably will be Anthony Gordon because I thought he had a bad year, but I'm not going to say him because I think that's a bit of a cop out. Most improved, I am going to go for Aaron Ramsdale, which might also be a cop out. But last season, I thought he was really quite poor at Southampton. Was the average player in a dreadful team, if that makes sense. I think he'll start for us in the next 10 games, and I think we'll start looking at him as our number one within the next 15.
Right. Good call. Poor Aaron Ramsdale, though. I mean, he must have been suffering from PTSD playing in goal for Southampton last year.
Yeah,
So,
it's
as long as he's not been psychologically damaged long term, I agree he could come in and take number one slot. I think
100%.
Pope has looked much better with him snapping after him, even in these first 3 games. Because I
Yeah.
made him man of the match against Leeds. He was the only one who didn't put a foot wrong. Most disappointing player.
I am going to go. I'm going to get slated for this. I'm going to go Anthony Elanga. And I think he will have a decent season, but I think a lot of people will look at what Jacob Murphy did last season, the 8 goals, 12 assists, and they'll go, "Oh well, Elanga was just behind him, so he'll just do that for Newcastle." And I think Elanga will have a season maybe like Gordon did last year, where it's like 5-5, something like that, and people are disappointed by it, and people are really sort of looking at it going, "Ah, we've paid 55 million for 10 goal contributions in a season, and they'll be really disappointed. I think Elanga will push on and he will be really good for us, but I've got a feeling this first season is going to be one of disappointment. And yeah, it's probably not going to go down well.
It isn't going to go
Who have
down
you
well,
got?
no. I've gone even worse.
Thank you.
I have gone even worse. I think the most disappointing player, because he barely plays, because he struggles with injury all season, is Jacob Ramsey.
Oh,
Even more
no.
disappointing because when he does come on, he looks really, really flash, like he
Yeah.
did against Leeds and then went off at half time. That, I think, will be repeated throughout the
Yeah.
season, and we'll be disappointed in the poor man, even though it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's
Uh-huh.
about time I did this, and then I'm going to ask you to do Zencastr.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we have spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it is super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr.
Thank you very much, Mike. Nicely done. I've just noticed that you say arse in the middle of that advert, but that again, I'm tired, and these things jump out at me when I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've got part 3. Um, let's race through these because it's the wider Premier League predictions. Top
Okay.
4, and I'm going to
Okay.
come
Yeah.
straight in after you. Top 4.
Right, okay, so we got Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea, because I'm boring and predictable.
Excellent. I've gone Arsenal. I can't believe I'm picking them to win. Perennial second place, but there you go. I'm going
Mhm.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester City. Relegated teams.
Oh, God. I'm going to go Sunderland in 18th. Sunderland, Burnley, and Leeds, unfortunately. I think it'll be 3 years in a row of the newly promoted sides going down. I really like the fact I really like the sign of Dango Otara, so I think they'll just
Yeah.
do enough. And I think Leeds will finish bottom.
Right. I'm going Burnley at 20th. Sorry, Martin Dubravka, but even you can't save them. I mean, they've got Kyle Walker. Oh, no. Anyway, let's not rip Burnley to bits.
That's a
Burnley,
negative, yeah.
West Ham,
Oh.
Wolves or Leeds. Very close. Last day of the season. I hope they're playing each other on the last day of the season. But Wolves are relying on this new Nigerian guy to help Strand Larson. If he's no good, they're down, I
Yeah.
think.
By the way,
Right.
Burnley
Yes.
Leeds is the final day of the season. And sorry, Burnley Wolves is the final day of the season. I know you said Wolves Leeds, but that is an absolute 6-pointer on the final day. That is
Is it?
insane. So I hope that is a final game. I do agree with Wolves as well, by the way, but I think Strand Larson will be enough to keep them up.
Right. Winners of the FA Cup, Tottenham.
Okay. I've got Chelsea.
And winners of the Carabao Cup,
I am going to go Manchester City.
oh, I'm going Newcastle, mate. We're going to defend it. That's our cup.
It's very much
Okay.
City. It's
Winners of the
the
Champions
only one they're
League.
going to win. Oh,
And it's not Liverpool because at some stage we're knocking them out.
yeah, it's not Liverpool. Liverpool are too weak defensively to win the Champions League. As you can tell, I'm stalling for time. I am going to go Barcelona.
So we'll beat Barcelona in their Champions League winning year. Wow.
I mean, I
Nice.
never said
Nice work.
that.
Um,
Who are you thinking?
I'm going to go PSG.
Back to
Why
back.
not? PSG were head and shoulders above everybody last year. I don't know what happened in the Club World Cup, and I'm not sure how they nearly let Tottenham beat them in the Super Cup. But it's very
Yeah.
early, isn't it? So I think they'll hit their rhythm again after Christmas, and they were superb. PSG. So Europa League.
Oh, I don't even know who's in it, man.
Well, that's
um,
because you've got to just say Aston Villa because we want the British teams to win. That's how we get the 5 places in Europe.
that is true. I'm quickly looking, and I believe the winner is going to be Roma.
All right, Roma, Villa, and
You're doing Conference League next, aren't you?
Conference League as well. Yeah, so you better get that one. You're going to race through all
Palace.
of those teams. Race through all those teams whose names look like the Wi-Fi code at work.
I'll go for University Titia. No, I actually think Crystal Palace will do it. And to be honest, I probably hope they don't, but I think it's between them and Fiorentina, who seem to fall short at in every final. So yeah,
Mm.
Palace for me.
I only know Palace that are playing in that, and I'm supporting all the British teams to get the what do they call it? To get the code, the
Coefficient.
coefficient as high as possible. So yeah, right. English Premier League Golden Boot.
Oh no. Alexander Isak.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I've got a bet on Alexander Isak when I thought he was going to be a Newcastle player, but I've got much better
Oh,
odds than if I'd waited for him to join Liverpool. Anyway,
yeah, 100%.
I don't want Isak to do that.
I don't
No,
want him
I
to.
think
No.
I tell you what I tell you what I'll do in the hope that this brings Joanne and Nicola's dreams true. I think Ekatike will win the Golden Boot. Isak will watch
Okay.
most of it from the bench. And the Golden Glove?
The Golden Glove, I think that will go to Jordan Pickford. And I'm sounding less and less like a Geordie every single day. But yes, I think it'll be Jordan Pickford.
I'm going to go Nick Pope because he's already got 2, hasn't he?
He does, but we also think Ramsdale might get a run in the team, so who knows?
Yeah, not if he keeps keeping clean sheets, though.
True.
And we've got Wolves coming up, so that's another one. Oh, damn. I've just condemned us to our second home loss of the season. Oh
Thanks,
well,
mate.
look. I think that's probably enough for us, really, on that, isn't it? I mean, we've made choices.
Yeah, it
Can't
works
believe
for me.
neither of us had Haaland. Haaland is always odds on at the bookmakers to be Golden Boot, but I don't know. Is he all that?
Gets injured too much. Yeah, it's one of those where City don't play to his strengths. I think if City had signed Isak, I think Isak's guaranteed to be up there because he gets involved with play quite a lot. But Haaland, maybe if you'd sent him to Liverpool or to maybe even Arsenal, he probably does end up scoring 30 plus goals every season. City just doesn't really work for him, and it's a juxtaposition that's really quite nice to watch as an opposition fan, but it must be so frustrating if you're a Man City fan. But yeah, not for me, and Salah's nowhere near either.
Well, I think Salah might find that there's not a place for him. The team will change. The way Liverpool play will change. Salah hasn't had a kick in the first 3 games, really.
He's been poor.
Anyway, enough of all of this. That's not prediction. That is just slagging Liverpool off again. But
Who could have predicted that?
fancy that. Thank you very much for joining me on that, Michael.
No worries.
We will hope that Kev, Joe, and Nicola can get their selves in gear to be able to put their own predictions down. So we've got a big chunk of stuff, and we'll have one of those big end of season parties where we go through them and laugh at all the ridiculous things that we suggested were going to happen. Ekatike, the Golden Boot, when he's probably sold back to Leipzig at Christmas. Thanks for joining us. Thanks very much, all you lovely listeners, for listening. And let us know your tips for player of the season, top goal scorer, most improved young player, how many Manager of the Month awards Eddie Howe gets. Michael and I agreed on that. It's 1. We'll see you all very soon. Ta-ta for now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.